I received this comment, and according to Google Translator, it's a request for knitting a pom-pom. These are the pom-poms I came up with. First, make sure the racking handle is in its lowest position. Take the main yarn for the pom-pom. Now detach the front lock and move it to the left. Insert the black strippers and drop the front bed. Set the back lock to N and the stitch size to 1. Make sure to leave a long yarn tail. Now raise 15 needles on the back bed. You need an odd number of needles. Place the edge springs on the last working ones and arrange the needles in 1-to-1 division. Now move the edge springs on the last working needles and knit 1 row. Raise the rest of the needles and move the edge springs on the last working ones. I will use both 7-shaped weight hangers, but I will attach one small weight to both ends. Now increase the stitch size to 4 and knit 1 row. Be careful because the weight may pull the yarn and drop. Tap on the needles to tighten the yarn. Now increase the stitch size to 5 and knit 12 rows. Move the lock slowly when knitting the first few rows. Now remove the weight. Pull the cast-on tail to hide the yarn loops. Thread the cast-on tail in the double-eye bodkin 2 and take a few stitches from the end until you get to the middle of the knitting. Slightly raise the center needle and make sure the yarn is coming from the wrong side of the knitting. Now take the last 2 purl bumps under the center needle. Attach a weight to the knitting and knit 12 rows. Remove the weight, use the double-eye bodkin 2 and take the 2 purl bumps under the center needle on the back bed. Now you can hold the knitting with your hand instead of using a weight. You have to knit 12 rows and repeat the same steps. Knit 180 rows in total or repeat these steps a total of 15 times. After you knit all 180 rows, take the 2 purl bumps again, then pull the yarn from the lock and cut it. You need to have a long yarn tail. Thread the double-eye bodkin 2 with the yarn tail and sew off the stitches from right to left. Don't forget to support me by liking the video. Now take the end stitches in the opposite direction until you reach the middle of the knitting. Take the same purl bumps with the second yarn tail. In the end, you need to have 2 yarn tails going through the center of the wrong side of the knitting. I have a yarn tail at each end. Now pull the yarn tails to gather the knitting. You can twist the ends to shape the pom-pom. When you are ready, cut the yarn tails short and tie several knots. And that is the final result. You can use fewer needles to make a smaller one. Thank you for watching, have a nice day and see you in my next video.